Hello, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the 2024 matriculation ceremony. My name is Camille Sarribar and I'm Dean of Students. I'm delighted to welcome all of you in this glorious day and welcome students of the class of 2028, transfer students, families, and friends to matriculation. To our parents, families, and guests, it's a little bit of housekeeping. If you or a member of your party needs to be indoors, we will be streaming the matriculation ceremony and President Kumar's address to an auditorium in Barnum Hall, room 008. It's that way. Seating is limited. Barnum Hall is to my right, behind the jumbo statue. We are also live streaming on Tufts website for those guests who could not be here with us today. And restrooms are located in Barnum Hall and in Dowling Hall. And so the procession will now begin. Please welcome the class of 2028 and new transfer students. Families and friends, let's give another very warm welcome to all of our students, please. Come on, let's show some love. Okay. Please welcome now the faculty marshals. Representing the faculty of the School of Arts and Sciences, Barbara Wallace Grossman, Professor of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies. Representing the faculty of the School of Engineering, Chris Swan, Dean of Undergraduate Education and Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering, and the Faculty of Arts and Sciences and the School of Engineering. Please welcome President Sunil Kumar, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the Tufts administration, and our Master of Ceremony, Professor Boris Hasselblatt.
The matriculation convocation of Tufts University is assembled. Please rise for the land acknowledgement, which will be offered by Director of our Indigenous Center, Vernon Miller, and please remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered by our University Chaplain, Elise Nelson Winger.
Before we proceed, I would like to acknowledge the indigenous land in which we sit. The land is a territory of the Massachusetts, Pawtucket, and their neighbors, the Wampanoag and Nipmuc peoples, who have stewarded this land for hundreds of generations. We must recognize the repeated violations of sovereignty, territory, and water perpetuated by invaders and colonizers that have impacted the original inhabitants of this land for over 400 years. We extend our respect to the citizens of these nations who live here today, their ancestors who have lived here for over 500 generations, and to all indigenous people. We also affirm that this acknowledgement is insufficient. It does not undo the harm that has been done and continues to be perpetuated now against indigenous people, their land, and their water.
Peace and light be with us all this Matriculation Day as we celebrate transfer students and the new class of 2028. This is a threshold moment. We are between what has been and what will be. Celtic spirituality evokes such moments as thin places, where holy mystery and earthly reality meet, that usher in wonder and insight, and are often experienced in the gloaming, under a full moon in winter, on water at the break of dawn. But they need not be limited to nature. This moment of matriculation is akin to a thin place, inviting us with wonder to perceive Tufts anew. We are a community infused by the spirit and intellect of generations who have learned and served here. Now, we are being renewed by these students, and Tufts will never be the same. So bring all you've got. Bring your multi-layered and marvelous selves. Bring your questions and convictions, your compassion and courage. Bring your doubts and fears, for you are not alone. You cross this threshold together, and we are all here to welcome you. Thank you.
Will the Assembly please be seated? Students and families, today's platform includes many members of the university administration who will be particularly important to students in your time at Tufts University. Might I ask the individuals being introduced to please rise briefly and then be seated as I introduce you. And I ask the audience to hold their applause until the last person has been introduced. The Associate Deans of Undergraduate Advising, Leah Gadd, School of the Museum of Fine Arts, Matthew Beloff, School of Arts and Sciences, Caitlin Casey, School of Arts and Sciences, Jarvis Chen, School of Arts and Sciences, Tanisha Leathers, School of Arts and Sciences. The University Chaplaincy, Elise Nelson Winger, University Chaplain, Preeta Banerjee, Hindu Chaplain, Daniel Bell, Protestant Chaplain, Lynn Cooper, Catholic Chaplain and Associate Director, University Chaplaincy. Tufts Senior Leadership, Vernon Miller, Director of the Tufts Indigenous Center, Carmen Lowe, Dean of Academic Advising and Undergraduate Studies for the School of Arts and Sciences, Jennifer Stephen, Dean of Academic Advising and Undergraduate Studies for the School of Engineering, Joseph Duck, Dean of Admissions and Enrollment Management, Camille Lizaribar, Dean of Students, Dana Cunningham, Dean of the Jonathan M. Tisch College of Civic Life, Sherry Faltenier, Dean of the School of the Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts, Barbara Brizuela, Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences ad interim, Kyungbum Lee, Dean of the School of Engineering, Theodore Tai, Tufts Trustee, Caroline Jenko, Provost and Senior Vice President, Sunil Kumar, President of the University. I call forward Joseph Duck, Dean of Admissions and Enrollment Management, for the presentation of the class of 2028 and our new transfer students.
This year, the Admissions Committee had the great responsibility of reviewing more than 34,000 applications for admission, just a couple hundred applications shy of our largest ever applicant pool. When we finished our work, 11% of applicants were admitted, including each and every one of you. Congratulations on your admission to Tufts. As you will soon come to know, it is the people at Tufts that make this place so special. Our esteemed faculty, our outstanding staff, and you, our promising students. For all of our renown as a leading research university and as an extraordinarily impactful institution of higher learning, at the heart of this place is our people. And now, that includes you. So as you begin your Tufts journey, I think it is important that you know a little bit about the people that surround you today. Our 1,800 first year and 120 transfer students are coming to Tufts from all across the US, including from Mesa, Arizona, Oakland, California, Wilmington, Delaware, Manchester, New Hampshire, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Miami, Florida, Chicago, Illinois, and Dallas, Texas. In fact, this class includes the largest cohort of students from Texas that we have ever enrolled. And you're coming to Tufts from Charleston, West Virginia, and Asheville, North Carolina, and Secaucus, New Jersey, and Eagle River, Alaska, and all 5 boroughs in New York City, and Long Island, and upstate. And you're coming from all across the great state of Massachusetts, everywhere from Martha's Vineyard in the east to Williamstown in the west. And I'm so proud that more than 40 of you are coming from right here, our host communities of Somerville, Medford, and Boston. Collectively, you represent 47 US states, plus Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. And you represent dozens of countries around the world. Sitting in front of me today are students who traveled to Medford from Argentina, Turkey, South Korea, Tanzania, the United Kingdom, India, the Dominican Republic, Jordan, Australia, Brazil, China, Italy, Rwanda, Mexico, and dozens of other countries. In fact, there are more than 250 new international students joining the Tufts community as first-year transfer students today. Our first-year class represents more than 1,100 unique secondary schools. Of those schools, more than 300 have not had a student enroll at Tufts in the last 5 years, if ever. This is part of our continued effort to expand access to the opportunities afforded by a Tufts education to new communities all over the country and all over the world. Our transfer students are enrolling from 75 unique institutions, big universities and small colleges, single gender and coeducational, public and private institutions. A particular point of pride is that we are welcoming transfer students from Bunker Hill Community College and the Massachusetts Bay Community College right here in metropolitan Boston. Our transfer cohort also includes 6 students in our Resumed Education for Adult Learners program that are returning to higher education a little later in life than many of our students. We are so glad that you have chosen Tufts as the next stop on your journey. 40% of you speak a language other than English at home, and many of you serve as translators and cultural bridges for your families. More than 100 of you are affiliated with the QuestBridge program, which facilitates the college search process for high-achieving low-income students all across the country. And more than 200 of you are among the first generation in your family to attend college on your path to a bachelor's degree. I, too, was a first-generation college student from a low-income background. I have experience with some of the hurdles that you and your family may have faced to reach this day, and I know firsthand the transformative power of higher education. I see you, I appreciate you, and you belong here. Now, you are so much more than numbers. You are some very interesting and accomplished people. One of you is an incoming engineer who was a 2023 national champion of Ghana's National Science and Math Quiz Competition series, which is a very, very, very big deal. So I'm glad you're here. One of you is a competitive Irish dancer, having placed 5th in North America and 11th nationally in Ireland, and you shared that when you're not dancing, you're playing the mandolin and the banjo at the local Irish pub, which is awesome. One of you served as a Dignity Project Fellow, which is a select group of Boston area high school students who serve as interreligious and cross-cultural leaders, trained to engage and facilitate dialogue, dignified conversation and dialogue across differences in support of building cultural bridges and mutual understanding. One of you served in the United States Marine Corps, and another has served as an Army Ranger in the United States Army. Thank you for your service. One of you is a founding member of Music United, a Baltimore-based nonprofit organization that brings students from different backgrounds together through music collaboration. And one of you served as state chair of the Massachusetts High School Democrats. Among you are students who have held part-time jobs at TJ Maxx, at Starbucks, at Dairy Queen, Walgreens, Wendy's, the Barden Farm Market in New Hartford, Connecticut, Tofu Kitchen in Alpharetta, Georgia, and Little Havana Cafe and Bodega in Toronto. And one of you has even worked at Dollywood, which is the iconic theme park owned by the one and only Ms. Dolly Parton. One of you is an incoming Bachelor of Fine Arts student who taught visual art and craft at the Bridge to Rwanda summer program, where you designed a visual art curriculum. When I visited that program last year, the students you taught were kind enough to show me the art that they created with your support and guidance. One of you is a trapeze artist and performer who described what you do as, quote, "I fall from the ceiling for fun." One of you is the youngest member of the Team USA Olympic Development Sailing Program, competing alongside college, All-American, and pro sailors while you were still in high school. And at least 2 of you are extraordinarily talented synchronized ice skaters competing for Team USA out of skating clubs in New York and DC. One of you is a trained personal care assistant, certified by the Department of Disability Services in the state of Connecticut. You have put that expertise to good use by playing an outsized role for one particular young person as he navigates life with limited mobility and intellectual disabilities. You explained your reason for applying to Tufts this way. You said, quote, "My purpose is to better the lives of children with special needs. Through the combination of interdisciplinary study in cognitive and brain science and substantive undergraduate research opportunities, I intend to expand our understanding of neurodevelopmental disorders and then use that knowledge to change the lives of those in need. Tufts' mission, which includes a commitment to the creation and application of knowledge, embraces a philosophy and practice of learning for the greater good." And we are so honored that you have chosen Tufts as the place to launch you into this important work. One of you aspires to be a museum curator, or perhaps go into art conservation. And you wrote your college essay about the impact that Fran Lebowitz has had on you, and the impact that James Baldwin had on her, and how that has made you think about what kind of impact you want to have on others through your art. You wrote, "Both Lebowitz and Baldwin have taught me that being an intellectual isn't merely the accumulation of knowledge, but the communication of it, transcending days or decades between author and reader. Artists pass their essence on to their admirers. As I move through life, I know my purpose is to be as they were to me, to curate, to analyze, and to express in simplistic truth." And then one of you wrote, in response to our application question about why you want to attend Tufts, you wrote, quote, "I've heard you should find a school where the students embody who you want to become. I will always remember the first time I truly felt this. On one of my visits to Tufts, I saw dozens of puns written in the grout on the walls of the Mayer Campus Center bathroom. Oscar the Grout, and Get Grouta Here were two of my favorites. I knew I had found my people. Now, just to be clear, please don't write on the bathroom walls at the Mayer Campus Center or any other bathrooms on the Tufts campus, but I do appreciate a good pun. I'm going to conclude with two short and telling quotes from recommendation letters we received this year. One of your teachers wrote about you, joy, pure, unadulterated joy. That's what I think of when I think of this student. Not only joie de vivre, but an innate, profound joy for the opportunity to learn and within the process of learning. He has a presence that pulls other students in and gets them to listen to what he's saying and to reflect, all without dominating over others. And he does it all with an open heart, open mind, and a willingness to work hard. And finally, one of your teachers wrote about you, this student is a force, one with fire in her eyes and strength in her words. She does not have to scream the loudest or bring attention to herself to effect positive change. She does so quietly with an unrivaled maturity. She is by far one of the kindest, most conscientious students with whom I've ever had the pleasure of working. Again and again this year, the admissions committee remarked on how the students that are drawn to Tufts and the ones to whom we offered admission are joyful, kind, curious, and collaborative learners. That's you, the class of 2028, and our newest jumbos. Welcome to Tufts. And now I would like to ask Kyung-Boom Lee, Dean of the School of Engineering, and Barbara Brizuela, Dean ad interim of the School of Arts and Sciences, to join me. Dean Lee, I have the honor to present to you 299 new students who have enrolled in the School of Engineering. I certify that these students have fulfilled our entrance requirements and are judged ready to become undergraduates at Tufts University. Will these 299 engineer students please rise and be recognized?
On behalf of the faculty of the School of Engineering, we welcome you into the university. As you prepare to join the Tufts community, it is our hope that through your experience here, you will gain in knowledge and wisdom. Congratulations, you are now officially matriculated.
Dean Brizuela, I have the honor to present to you 1,630 new students who have enrolled in the School of Arts and Sciences, which includes new students in the School of Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts. I certify that these students have fulfilled our entrance requirements and are judged ready to become undergraduates at Tufts University. Students, please rise and be recognized.
Good morning. From one jumbo to a whole new set of jumbos, welcome to Tufts. On behalf of the faculty of the School of Arts and Sciences, we welcome you to the university on this beautiful day. As you prepare to join the Tufts community, it is our hope that through your experience here, you will gain in knowledge and in wisdom. Congratulations, you are now officially matriculated.
Members of the SQ a cappella group will now perform A Light on the Hill, followed by Ain't It Fun by Paramore.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are Tufts SQ, one of the many a cappella groups on campus, and we are so excited to be part of the matriculation ceremony today, welcoming you all to Tufts. To your parents, families, the class of 2028, and transfer students, congratulations. Your journey starts here. That was Light on the Hill, one of the traditional Tufts songs, and now we will be performing Ain't It Fun by Paramore, soloed by Annika.
I don't mind letting you down easy, but give it time. If it don't hurt now, just wait a while. You're not the big fish in the pond no more. You are what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do when the world's on orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when the world's on orbit around you? Oh, ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Where from? You might be the one who's running things, who can bring anybody's bell and get what you want. See, it's easy to ignore trouble when you're living in a bubble. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when nobody wants to fool with you? Oh, ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun you can't count on no one? Ain't it fun living in the real world? And don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Fun, ain't it fun? Baby, now you're one of us. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Living in the real world. Ain't it good being all alone? Ain't it fun? Living in the real world. Ain't it good being all alone? Why now?
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Provost and Senior Vice President, Caroline Jenko.
That's always a really hard act to follow. They're fantastic. I'd like to welcome all of you here this morning, the class of 2028. It's an honor to be with you, your friends and family who have joined you today, as well as those who are joining us virtually. Today marks the beginning of your journey here at Tufts University, and I am thrilled to be here with you. On behalf of our academic community, welcome to Tufts University. I would like to share with you this morning my perspective as one, a student, two, a parent, and three, now as provost. Like many of you today, I was the first to attend college in my family. My own journey as an undergraduate student fostered both my scientific curiosity and my artistic creativity. As a biology major, I spent long days in the laboratory, but as a dance minor, I also spent endless hours in the dance studio, learning something new that brought me great joy and personal satisfaction. This matriculation ceremony marks the beginning of your own academic and, importantly, personal journey, a chance to grow as a scholar and, importantly, as an individual. But I'm also a parent. I see many of you on the sides here. And I remember feeling quite emotional after dropping my own children off at college. All three, by the way, went to school here in Boston, so I wasn't very far away. While this is first and foremost a milestone for our new students, it's also a milestone for parents and loved ones who've helped to get you here. Family and friends, thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do to support this incredible group of students. Now as provost, I have the privilege of overseeing Tufts' unique undergraduate, graduate, and professional schools across our 4 distinct campuses. What I have found to be most unique about Tufts is the breadth of educational and research experiences available to all of you. We offer a robust, diverse curriculum, outstanding research opportunities, and have a very deep commitment to civic engagement. During your time at Tufts, we will provide you with transformative experiences that will equip you to address this increasingly complex challenges that are facing the nation and the world. From day one of your journey at Tufts, you will have opportunities to grow both inside and outside of the classroom, with access to an array of courses and learning experiences. I encourage each and every one of you to take advantage of these opportunities. Take a class you normally would not sign up for. Explore and lend a hand in our neighboring communities, and allow yourself to see where your questions and curiosities will take you. So this morning marks the first of 2 major ceremonies during your Tufts career. Although I'm sure it's very difficult to imagine The second ceremony will be your commencement. We look forward to witnessing all the discoveries that you make during your time here and celebrating them at the 2028 graduation. So whether it's on the athletic fields, in the art studios, on stage, in the lab, in the library, studying abroad, or in our neighboring communities, we collectively cannot wait to see what you will do next. So now it is my distinct honor to introduce Tufts 14th President, Sunil Kumar. President Kumar is strongly committed to preserving and furthering the university's mission of being a student-centered research university dedicated to providing transformative experiences in an inclusive and collaborative environment. President Kumar previously serves as the 15th Provost of Johns Hopkins Universities, where he focused on increasing research among all the divisions and education collaborations across the university, in recruiting exceptional faculty, importantly in enhancing the student experiencing, and advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives across the university. Born in India, President Kumar received a Bachelor's of Engineering degree from Mangalore University. He then received a Master's of Engineering degree in Computer Science and Automation from the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, and subsequently a PhD in Electrical Engineering from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to President Sunil Kumar.
Thank you, Caroline, for that kind introduction. Welcome to the parents, families, and loved ones joining via live stream, whether from campus or from around the world. And thank you all for being here today. And welcome, Tufts class of 2028. It's great to have you here. I know that the next 4 years of your lives will be transformative. Some of you will tell me that when I run into you a decade or two from now, as the alumni do today. The defining features of the next 4 years will be freedom. You will be more free now than before, or even after you graduate. That's because there are many different freedoms, and nearly all of them converge on the university campus. Freedom to satisfy your curiosity and explore. Freedom to develop your own identity. Freedom to worship or not. Freedom of expression. Freedom to vote. Freedom to pursue ideas wherever they may lead without undue interference. And of course, freedom to slake your thirst for knowledge. So I will spare you the usual long, dreaded speech and simply give you a couple of pieces of advice on exercising your freedoms as you begin your journey at Tufts. I do not offer this advice because I'm the president and I'm feeling particularly self-important today. Rather, I offer it because I worry that freedom is the one thing that students tend to squander, just as I did when I was your age. Today, you're on the verge of a new and unfamiliar path. Like starting anything new, it is natural to experience several conflicting feelings. Uncertainty and fear of the unknown, as well as curiosity and excitement about the opportunities that lie before you. You're free to explore, stumble, and learn. When you look back on this day in 20 years, trust me when I say that you probably won't remember how nervous you felt or how embarrassed you were when your parents cried dropping you off, despite you begging them not to. Instead, what I hope you will recall the most is that sensation of pure, unbridled curiosity and excitement. I encourage you to hold on to that feeling and let that be your guiding light, not only during your time at Tufts, but throughout your life. Satisfy that curiosity. Live up to that excitement. Fully indulge in your freedom to explore. This brings me to my first piece of advice. Every now and then, when someone asks you why you're doing something, your answer should be, why not? Right now, you might take pride in feeling that you already have everything mapped out. You may have already decided what to major and minor in, what classes to take, or what clubs to enroll in. That's too practical. Explore. Use your freedom. If you're sitting at this same spot 4 years from now, having followed the precise plan that you had set on day one, then Tufts has failed you. A freedom we hold particularly dear at Tufts is academic freedom. This is not the freedom of expression. Rather, it is the freedom to explore and advance any idea that will hold up to the scrutiny of peers, to critical review and debate, and to the standards of evidence in the field. We fully support our faculty who advance ostensibly heretical ideas that hold up to these standards. Members of the Tufts community hold fundamentally different positions on important issues. You're free to and should engage in debating these issues with those who disagree with your position. But exercising that freedom responsibly also matters. Your freedom cannot come at the expense of another student's own freedoms. On a college campus, learning to live with opposing views, debating respectfully with each other without being disagreeable, and learning to listen rather than shouting each other down are life lessons that will remain forever valuable. My closest friend from college is someone I disagreed with vehemently on several issues and still do to this day. But that had never resulted in personal or mean attacks on each other. We remain close friends after all these years because we never learned to doubt each other's humanity, only each other's ideas. We visit each other every year, and our spouses are tired of our stories. And we disagree every time. Sometimes you'll manage to persuade your fellow students of your position. But other times, you'll have deep self-reflection and realize that perhaps you learned something new or have deeper context and nuance about a topic. Finding satisfaction in being wrong is one of the most illuminating ways of personal growth. Continuing the theme of freedom and exploration, share a room with a fellow jumbo with whom you have almost nothing in common other than your common love for Tufts. Explore Medford, Somerville, and Boston. Take the Green Line to explore new neighborhoods. Learn to say chowda. Pick up a sport or club activity despite lacking aptitude or ability for that said activity. All of these things have one thing in common. They require stepping outside your comfort zone. Which brings me to my second piece of advice. While you're exploring and taking advantage of your freedoms, do not be afraid to be uncomfortable. As students, you will often find yourselves in new and unfamiliar circumstances. You'll be asked to make choices that affect the kind of experience you have and the direction of your life in the future. You won't always know what to do. When that happens, remember that you're not alone. Tufts is a caring place full of thoughtful, helpful people who are committed to helping you thrive. Here at Tufts, seeking support is not a sign of failure or weakness, but a sign of strength and self-awareness. At the same time, I want to draw an important distinction between support and comfort. As a university, it is our responsibility to support you, but it is not our responsibility to ensure that you stay within your comfort zone. Over the next 4 years, you may be tempted to choose the most comfortable or predictable route. You may decide to take a course that you know will give you an easy A, or you may decide against studying abroad because you'd be the only one in your friend group to do so. But new ideas and personal growth rarely come from within your comfort zone. As I have said before, I firmly believe in the value of so-called mistakes and failures. They help you discover deep truths about yourself and your calling. When I came to the US to pursue my PhD, I moved from Bangalore, a city of several million people, to Urbana, Illinois, a city of few tens of thousands. Up until then, I had never set foot in America, and I had never heard of the Midwest. I had never been on an airplane. To say that I felt out of place when I arrived would be an understatement. My solution to this discomfort? I grew a ponytail, bought a 20-year-old Cadillac, and developed a taste for Midwestern food. Looking back, these were arguably not the wisest decisions I've ever made. But the point is that I immersed myself in discomfort rather than shying away from it. I don't think I was looking to fit in or be accepted. Rather, I was trying to explore what it meant to be American. I learned a fair bit. I can still find my way to that excellent catfish restaurant in Decatur, Illinois. And I still love meatloaf, the dish, not the musician. I can't quite put my finger on why, but I believe that this somewhat silly and superficial immersion made me a stronger person. And it was fun. I realize that what I've said so far may give you the impression that I'm preaching. But in reality, I'm also reminding the university, and by extension myself, of the responsibility we have to provide you with transformative experiences that will challenge you, broaden your horizons, and question rather than reaffirm your beliefs. And we cannot tell you to do these things if we are not willing to do the same ourselves. As I said before, my experience in Illinois was fun. I worry that you're all such earnest and responsible people that you may forget to have fun. So I'd like to announce a call for proposals for funding events for the second year in a row. Successful proposals for events will have the cost of the event covered if they are 1, good, clean, and safe, 2, not profligate, 3, and this is important, open to any member of the Tufts community, and the most important consideration of all, have no purpose other than simply being fun. Last year, 2 events that were funded were a Taylor Swift private screening of a Taylor Swift movie and an electronic dance music competition. They seem to have checked all 4 boxes. I can't wait to see what events you'll cook up this year. Today marks the beginning of an exciting journey, and it's a privilege for me to be part of it. I look forward to getting to know each of you during your time here, and I can't wait to see what you will accomplish. What else is there to say now? But congratulations and welcome to Tufts. Thank you.
The assembly will please rise. Tufts a cappella group SQ will now lead us in singing Dear Alma Mater, after which Catholic chaplain Lynn Cooper will offer the benediction.
We come beside
Spirit of new beginnings, on this Thin Place morning, we give thanks for the new life ahead, for the wisdom around us, for all those whose steadfast love and perseverance have brought us to this moment. Be with these students as they embark on this next leg of life's journey. Bless them with courage and humility as they ask difficult and inconvenient questions. Bless them with patience and curiosity as they listen deeply to the truths of others, and fill them with deep hunger for transformation and an abiding commitment to community and connectedness. Embolden them as they grow in new directions, expanding their hearts, challenging their minds, and treating their bodies and spirits with others with deep care and compassion. Let us all dare to follow love all the way. My friends, go from this place knowing that you are good and knowing that you are loved.
Families, thank you for joining us today. After the ceremony, we would like to invite you to stop by Dowling Hall for refreshments as you depart campus. Students, please follow your orientation schedule for lunch in the dining halls. Please remain standing while the platform party and faculty recess to the music of Tuftonia's Day.
T-U-F-T-S, T-U-F-T-S, hurrah, 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 the dear old brown and blue, old brown and steady and true, rush along, brown and blue. Raise a mighty score today, fearless tear down the field and never yield, brown and blue, for, hammer them hard, boys, and break through their guard, that is old Tuftonia's way. And our glorious banner once again will wave o'er Tuftonia's day. T-U-F-T-S, T-U-F-T-S, hurrah, 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 for the dear old brown and blue. Victorious in the fight, we'll raise the standard of dear old Tufts to glory. It's bound to soar. Now one goal more. Nothing can stop us. It's Tuftonia's